Hey, you're back. Great. You can see you there. Here we are. Topic today, hopefully you've got the right notes, so it's finding the midpoint between 2 points. Continuing on our coordinate geometry theme, using coordinates to find specific information. So the midpoint, as you might guess, is halfway between the 2 points. So where are we when we're halfway between the 2 possible points? So let's start with these 2 coordinates right here, 2, 3, right there, and 8, 7 be about there. So what we're trying to find is when, let's draw the line in with an actual line this time, when are we exactly halfway between those 2 points that we put in there. Blue, it's not a perfect line, but it'll be okay. All right, so same thing, we'll pop the coordinates down, 2, 3, and 8, 7. So if we had to guess, we'd say maybe right about there, but I don't precisely know. I'm going to use the same trick we did with the distance formula. I'm going to throw that corner point in, the corner point right there. Corner point, its coordinates appear to be about 8, 3. Okay, so if I had a nice straight line, how many people could tell me what's halfway between 2 and 8? Okay, halfway between 2 and 8 is 5. 2 plus 8 is 10. Half of 10 is 5. So that's there. What's halfway between 7 and 3? Again, 5. Okay, so I've got the midpoint of my horizontal side. I've got the midpoint of my vertical side. Do you suppose that the midpoint of the diagonal would be the combination of those 2 points? Let's take a look and see if it seems reasonable. Right there could be the midpoint, 5, 5. Looks to be about the same length line, doesn't it? Right, and now if we do like a little county thing, it's up 2 and over 3, up 2 and over 3, that's about the midpoint. So, it's not that crazy difficult. That's basically, if we can find the midpoint of my horizontal side, the midpoint of my vertical side, combine them to get the midpoint of my diagonal side. Okay? There's a formula, and I put formula in quotes because it's not really much of a formula. We're going to do the same sort of thing as we did last time, and this time I don't even have any relative place to put it. We'll just call this one x1, y1, and about there we'll call x2, y2. Okay? I want to find the midpoint, and we'll throw in that corner point. The corner point has the same x-coordinate as this one and the same y-coordinate as that one, right? My x's line up here, my y's line up there. So I want to find the middle of this side, and what we did last time, may not have written it out, but essentially we just added 2 plus 8, divided it by 2. So we'll do that same sort of thing here to find the midpoint of this side. We'll add my x-coordinates and divide by 2. And for this side, we'll add my y-coordinates and divide by 2. So basically, adding 2 numbers up and dividing by 2, that's basically finding the average. So what we're doing when we're finding the midpoint, we're finding the average, or I guess we like to call it the mean. And over here in really fine print is the midpoint formula, there it is, which is what we've written right there. So it's really not much of a formula, it just tells you how to find the coordinates. You add the x-coordinates up, divide by 2, you add the y-coordinates up, divide by 2, and the result x comma y, the resulting x comma y is the actual midpoint of your points. Okay, not that big a deal. Make sure you stick with us because the examples get a little different towards the end, and who knows, I might ask you a question at the end just to be sure that you've got the that you actually watched the whole thing. Okay, so oops, let me go back and do my little cheater thing where I copy that so I don't have to write it down every time. Copy, and it's not a bad idea for you to write things down more than once just so that the process becomes automatic to you. Okay, same story. Let's label x1, y1, x2, y2. Let's plug them into the formula. 5 plus 9 divided by 2, 7 plus 13 divided by 2. right? Just took my x's, added them together, going to divide it by 2. Take my y's, add them together, divide by 2. Okay? And it's going to be a coordinate point, so we pop the parentheses around it. 5 plus 9 is 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 7 plus 13 is 20. 20 divided by 2 is 10. So the midpoint, the point halfway between A and B, and let's see if we can pop that on here. 5, 7 is about there. 9, 13 is about there. So 7, 10 is precisely in the middle of those 2 points. You can see it's exactly even, those 2 segments right there. Okay, so that's my midpoint. Okay, a word of warning if you're going to use your calculator, and I know for some reason you like to do 5 plus 9 divided by 2 with your calculator. If you're going to use your calculator, make sure that you do 5 plus 9, you get to 14, and then divide it by 2. If you just pop into your calculator 5 plus 9 divided by 2, it's going to take half of 9 and add that to 5, and that is not what we want to do. Okay, so make sure you get that intermediate sum or use parentheses or something like that. Okay. All right, let's do this one. You can pause and work through it yourself, and then come back and join me, or you can watch and do this one, and then I'll suggest you pause on the next one, something like that. Okay, x1, y1, x2, y2. Add them up. -2 plus 8 divided by 2. What is that? 8 plus -14 divided by 2. That's going to be the coordinates of the midpoint. Add the x coordinates, divide by 2. Add the y coordinates, divide by 2. -2 plus 8, that's sort of like 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 plus minus, I'm not a big fan of the plus minus. I would just make that 8 minus 14, just -6. -6 divided by 2 is -3. Okay, midpoint, done. Add the coordinates up, divide by 2. Okay, average of your x coordinates, average of your y coordinates. Got it? All right. You work through this one and get back to me. Okay, pause for a brief moment. I think I will actually pause, do it so that way when you come back in a brief second, you'll be ready. Make sure you really pause. Don't cheat. Don't just pretend you're pausing. Actually, really pause. All right. So hopefully you did really pause, because while you were paused, I did all this workout. Same thing, using the formula. Just plug in. It's not that big a deal. The tricky part about this one, not tricky, is that, oh gosh, we don't get a whole number for an answer. We just get a regular old decimally thing. Okay, don't be alarmed. It's probably going to be okay. Okay, don't go, oh my God. Yeah, then do that. And you end up with -1/2, -9/2. Not a real baby. Don't be alarmed. -1/2, -9/2 if you like. Make that -4.5. But that's a perfectly legitimate answer as you're working your way through this. Okay? Next one. Now we're going to finding the other endpoint if we know one endpoint and the midpoint. So situation is, okay, we're starting here. Halfway is there. We want to know, when do we get to the other end? Okay, so 5, 8, 8, 14, and then we don't know. Okay, so we start with the endpoint. We know where halfway is. Where's the end? Okay, it's really, really simple. Works like this. Okay, to get from, in the x-coordinate, to get from the endpoint to the middle, how far do we go? We went +3. So, to get from the midpoint to the other end, we're going to go +3 again. 8 plus 3, 11. Yeah, that works. All right, in the y direction, to get from endpoint to midpoint, we went +6. So we've got to go +6 again, 20. We've got an endpoint and a midpoint. We can get to the other end. That is a 20. Okay? No big deal. Try this one. Okay, slightly perhaps more difficult. Have another one after this? All right, we'll do this one together then. So, try this one. Endpoint -5. So I find it's pretty easy just to, well, I guess we could just do it up there. I was going to say draw a picture. So since I said it, I'll do it. Put the coordinates in. -5, 12, 2, 2. How far from -5 to 2? It looks like we're going up 7. So to get to the other end, we're going to go up 7 more. That puts us at 9. Going from here to here, looks like we're going down 10. Okay, if we go down 10 from 2, where are we? We're at -8. Okay, so in this case, one of my coordinates is getting bigger, the other one's getting smaller. Doesn't really make a difference. Look for the pattern. Patterns are helpful when solving problems, and you'll be all set. Okay, why don't you try this one? It's really difficult because it's got a 50 in it. I'll have you pause for a second, and then we'll and then come back and join me on the end. Okay, this will be the last problem, so you'll be ready for the big, crazy question. Okay, hold on for a sec. Pause. I'll do this, and we'll be back. And the answer is that. Do you agree? 17, 17, subtract -30, add 36, 86. Okay, so that's my end point as we go. So again, formula, little pattern thing, noticing what's going on. Midpoint formula, let's show it up here one more time. There it is. Make it bigger. Let's make it larger than ever you thought possible. Add the coordinates, divide by 2. Add the coordinates, divide by 2. That's your midpoint. Hey, so what was the question I was going to ask? Which sound effect did you like the best? Think about which ones we used, and you can tell me tomorrow. Okay? Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something again. We'll see you later.